Hello everyone, and welcome to my Days of Our Lives official. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. EJ walked confidently into the interview room at the police station to see Mark. EJ sarcastically told Mark that he didn't know or care when he inquired about the whereabouts of his mother. He had arrived with the best damn plea deal you're going to get for Mark. When Mark inquired about the conditions of the agreement, EJ informed him that a shorter sentence would be granted to Mark in exchange for a guilty plea. EJ explained that 10 years in prison would be the punishment. Mark objected to the sentence's length and reminded EJ that he had been coerced into complying with Clyde's demands. EJ calmly shot back that the only reason Mark was receiving a deal at all was because of his circumstances. When Mark accused EJ of making it personal, EJ retorted that it was because Mark had attempted to murder a Mara. Given that others who had crossed EJ's family had suffered worse outcomes, he said Mark should view the agreement as a blessing. After losing his temper, EJ insisted that Mark sign the damn deal. Mark contended that he was his younger sibling's legal guardian and questioned what would happen to them if he was imprisoned. EJ vehemently argued that Mark ought to have considered the repercussions before attempting to fleece EJ's family with his sister. EJ insisted that Mark sign the agreement or else he would be a very old man before he saw his siblings again, while Mark persisted in his opposition. Mark reached for the pen, but Belle hurried into the office and told him to stop before he could sign. EJ was taken aback and inquired as to Belle's whereabouts, assuming she was still in Hong Kong. Belle added that she was stopping EJ from railroading her client and that she would return for Doug's burial. After giving the arrangement a quick glance, she tossed the papers aside and inquired about EJ's ability to sleep at night. Belle sat down with a bewildered Mark and introduced herself as EJ grumbled that she didn't know anything about the case. She clarified that Tate had asked her to investigate the matter on Aaron's behalf. Admire Days, B&B, General Hospital, or other soap operas. Participate in the discussion on our SC boards. To interact with fans and start a conversation right away, click here. Belle then shifted her focus to EJ and questioned his jurisdiction to bring a case on a global scale. Belle pressed EJ on his jurisdiction, despite his assertion that he had authority because American citizens were involved. She reminded EJ that he was not allowed to settle personal scores using his position. After the time spent, EJ offered Mark a fresh deal, 5 years in prison and extradition abroad. In response, Belle made her own offer: no extradition, community service, time served, and a fine. EJ claimed that he could still try Mark for fabricating medical documents even if he acknowledged that he had no jurisdiction over the attempted murder accusations. Although Belle accepted the penalty, she pointed out that the entire community may face charges for the offense. EJ angrily retorted that Mark's jail sentence was non-negotiable. Everything was negotiable, Belle said with a smirk. EJ later praised Belle for maintaining her legal advantage. She sneered and claimed to have hardly perspired. EJ acknowledged how fortunate Mark had been to have Belle on his side, but he threatened to bring charges against the man if he violated their agreement. Belle clarified that she was Miss Black and declared that she and Sean were divorcing when EJ called her Mrs. Brady. EJ listened to her disclosure with apparent interest as she walked off. Kat terminated a call with a lawyer she was considering hiring for her mother's case in Horton Town Square. Aaron reluctantly stepped forward and acknowledged that it was still a shock to consider Kat his sister. With a smile, Kat gently advised her younger brother to get used to it. She said she could do something she had longed to do because they were no longer separated by jail bars. Kat hugged Aaron tightly. Kat gave Aaron an update on finding their mother a decent lawyer. The attorney had emphasized that the case would be difficult, she warned. Since his mother had been imprisoned by a monster, Aaron was baffled as to why she was there. He demanded the release of Mark and his mother. Kat clarified that since Clyde was being held at gunpoint when she shot him, the attorney was unable to claim self-defense as a legitimate justification for their mother's actions. Kat went on to say that the attorney planned to claim their mother was mentally ill and had been indoctrinated by Clyde. Kat and Aaron agreed that the family deserved another miracle, and Aaron hoped the plan would succeed. Kat reaffirmed to Aaron that she would need time to emotionally heal from her experience, even if their mother were to win the case against her. Kat gently reminded Aaron that they should concentrate on being thankful that their mother was still alive and out of Clyde's grasp when he expressed concern that she might never be the same. Aaron agreed that it was great that their mother had returned, especially for Felicity. Felicity and her friend's mother showed up at that very moment. Kat made small talk with the leaving woman after Aaron introduced her to the friend's mother. With shyness, Felicity inquired as to whether Kat was indeed her sister. Kat verified the news with a big smile. She said she was thrilled to see her baby sis. Kat smiled and recalled how she had told Felicity as much when Felicity had accused Aaron of chopping her doll's hair. Aaron mock outraged, and the memory made the siblings all smile. Having acknowledged their sister's secret, Kat joined her pinky finger with Felicity, and Felicity accepted her. Kat sobbed and gave Felicity a hug. When the younger sibling inquired as to whether their mother was still living, Kat informed Felicity that she was. Although Kat acknowledged that their mother was still unable to visit the family, they expressed how much their mother adored Felicity. Aaron proposed a road trip to Vancouver to see their mother after Felicity expressed displeasure, which thrilled Felicity. Kat agreed to the trip after acting as though she had given it some thought. Before they made any plans, she insisted on a group hug. "Room for one more," shouted an approaching Mark as the siblings embraced. Felicity, Aaron, and Kat were thrilled to see Mark. He mentioned that he had gotten a wonderful deal from his lawyer because of Aaron. When Mark explained that he would be doing 18 months in prison, the atmosphere momentarily soured, but he reassured his siblings that things could have gone much worse. Before turning himself in, he wanted to spend time with his family, so he gladly joined in the group hug. At Rafe's house, JJ accompanied Gabby to her residence. JJ said that it was the least he could do after all she had done for him when Gabby thanked him for the accompaniment. JJ maintained that he still owed her money even though Gabby minimized her contributions. Gabby asked cheekily, "What are you thinking of?" Grinning, JJ went on to thank Gabby for everything. Gabby lamented that her legs still ached occasionally from the beating she had in prison and acknowledged that her motivations for joining the expedition weren't entirely altruistic. Because Katharina put a bullet in that son of a bitch, she thought she should receive a medal. Although he would often concur, JJ stated that Clyde's shooting had deprived his family of the opportunity to bury Abigail. Gabby expressed her sincere regret for her insensitivity and being relieved that Clyde was no longer in use. JJ reassured Gabby that her emotions were real and that his only regret was that they hadn't found out where Abigail's remains were. Gabby claimed she could understand JJ's suffering because she had lost her own sister and offered her condolences to JJ and his family. JJ bemoaned how difficult and drawn out his family's grief process had been. He described Abigail as the best person he had ever met and the best sister he had ever known. His emotions rising, he revealed that he feared seeing his parents and having to inform them of his failure. Gabby hugged JJ to comfort him.